2024, we're close to 1 million and margins is around 20%. I always thought that this is for someone like 25-year-old guy. Well, I consider myself old for this, but it's doable.
What is your process to optimize your ads?
I review the PPC Assist suggestions. Sometimes I take it, sometimes I don't. And I do it manually because I want to see the spend tacos, new keywords. I want to see why the suggestions are made.
What are your challenges, your main challenges recently?
2 days before traveling, our transport agency for Europe says, I cannot offer you more than a week of service before we cancel your contract. Having like 100, 150 orders per week, you know that Amazon penalizes you if you cancel the order. And also, having customers saying, I want my order to be shipped. So we had more costs and less sales.
Hi everyone, welcome on Amazon Seller Truth, the podcast where we interview Amazon sellers who share their journey, the ups and downs, the reality of their journey. Today we are with Francisco, who is an Amazon seller since a lot of time, but not only selling on Amazon, but in e-commerce business in general. Francisco, I discovered you maybe 6 months ago by buying one of your products and having an excellent user experience. So I'm really glad to have you on the podcast. But first of all, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for inviting me. And when you bought our product, then we bought yours. So it was a reciprocity, and we're very happy with your product as well. So yeah, it's been quite a journey. We started this project in 2020 with the pandemic. I wanted to do something online. I didn't know what to do. And we started selling. We wanted to become a home decor company in the beginning, but then we found an opportunity with the beanbag niche.
Yeah,
we saw that there's a big demand in Europe, and there were not as many companies offering design products. And so we saw that, especially in Spain, the beanbag world was about standard designs, standard fabrics, and we saw that it could be an opportunity there. So we took it.
Okay, great. So as I mentioned, I have a very great experience with your product. Like I was about to buy a beanbag. I received it, and 1 hour after, I just received a WhatsApp message asking if everything was good, etc. So the user experience was very good. But first of all, before talking about Amazon, what were you doing before selling on Amazon?
Well, actually, we are from Uruguay originally, and in 2015, in 2018, we came to Spain for personal reasons with my wife, and actually we have businesses over there that they were paying our living cost here in Spain. We have different financial businesses there. I was linked to technology back in Uruguay. We had a technology company that from 2010 to 2015, and then when I left that, I just invested some money I had and with financial businesses, and basically that is what we had as an income.
Okay.
But again, after 2 years, when the pandemic came, I always wanted to do something online. I saw that there's a huge opportunity there. I saw that e-commerce takes about like 7 to 10% of total sales. So the growth of online commerce is huge, and the pandemic, I think, that accelerated that. And so we we got on board of that. But luckily enough, we didn't depend on this project for a living. So it was like a second line of business,
Okay.
which also gave us the opportunity and also the chance to invest the money that was needed and not the money that we had available.
Mm.
Because as you probably know, is not only the money you need to buy the product, is
Yeah.
also the money you need to get the second order
Mm.
before you sell the first one.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have a gap of out of stock
Mm.
products that Amazon penalizes you for that. And also when you start adding all costs of the operational costs, it's about like 3x the investment in the product itself.
Mm.
So having that helped us to follow along with the growth of the product without being limited
Yeah.
in the financial department.
Okay. Okay.
So we started in 2020. We started selling some lousy products, some crappy products that no one wanted. The first product was a shitty product, and it was like we were so happy and so thrilled to sell these it's a paper basket,
Mm.
but that are eco-friendly paper baskets that can
Mm.
be washed. So it's a kind of a paper craft basket,
Mm. Mm.
and we
Mm.
thought that would be a blast. That it was like a $25 product, uh, and we spent like 2,000 euros for photos and for listings and copies and everything.
Mm. Mm.
And when we launched it, it was zero sales, zero sales. So we dropped the price up to, I think it was like 16.99, and still no one sold it. So it was every time we sold one of these baskets, it was a joy in our
It was
home
the
because
party, big
it was
party.
yeah it was one day 16.99. Oh, awesome! I remember once that I think it was close to Black Friday. We sold like 3 in a day. It was
Mm.
like 45 euros in one day,
Mm.
and we were so happy because honestly, it was a failure. Uh, it was the wrong product at the wrong time, but it
Mm.
was a great learning as well,
Mm.
because that led us um to work with product search
Okay.
research, and also to not to make the same mistakes that we did in the first place. And that's when we found uh the beanbags, and we saw that beanbags are a very demanded product. It was a niche where there were not as many companies selling, because it's kind of difficult, the logistics, and many other many other things are quite difficult to set up. Like, for example, finding um, transport agencies that are willing to ship such a bulky and large items, um, and also the materials needed, the raw materials needed for the beanbags, are also difficult to assemble and to set up. And that's one of the things that we saw, that it said, okay, that is why there are not as many companies selling beanbags.
Mm.
So we saw that as an opportunity, and we took it.
Okay. 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 So if I get it right, the first product you sold, you didn't validate the demand with a software like Helium 10, and the second one you find it with with validating the search volume?
Right. Actually, we validated the demand for home decor items,
Okay.
but not exactly this product. I mean, for example, we saw that there were like kitchen baskets or uh, plant. These bags can also be like a plant recipient.
Mm.
And we saw that there was demand for that, but not for the product we had. And it
Mm.
was like the product was unfamiliar to buyers.
Okay.
So they saw it and
Mm.
they didn't link, like, you know what, one of the things that they say, or they tell you, the first, like at the beginning of the journey on Amazon, is that buyers have like an idea in their minds of what they're looking for. They have a very high intention of
Okay.
buying,
On Amazon, yeah.
but they have an idea in their minds what they're looking for. So the best practice that you can do is like to try to understand what they're imagining in their minds. So when they see your product, they say, "This is what I was looking for."
Mm.
And that is something that we didn't take into consideration. That is something that we didn't do, and of course, something we didn't accomplish either. So our product was there, but people didn't link that product could, you know, uh, help with their needs, what they were looking for. And I think that was the main mistake that we did, because all the keywords that we had were very generic. It wasn't like something like, a wooden table with metal legs,
Mm.
which is very
Specific.
precise,
Mm.
specific. It was something like kitchen baskets, or things like that. Of course, there's a million products that can be kitchen baskets or storage baskets. So I think that was our mistake, and that is what we tried to avoid the second time. Although we also made some other mistakes, like, for example, finding the suitable color, a color that the people were were looking for besides the color that we wanted. So when we launched our first beanbag, I remember I asked my wife, which is my partner as well. Said, "Oh, what color do you like?" And she said, "I like a beige cream color." Oh, good.
Mm.
I like I
That's
like
the
a
one I bought actually.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like a more brownish color. Oh, great.
Mm.
Let's order some beige color and some brown.
Mm.
And just at the end of the first order, we say, "Okay, and let's get like 100 pieces of gray color, just in case people like it." And we launched the product, and the gray ones were the ones that were all sold out. Like in less than a month,
Okay.
we sold out the gray ones, and beige and brown colors were stuck there like for 2 years. And
Already. Okay.
again, because we didn't hear what the demand of the people was, but we just like we just ask ourselves, what do I want? What do I like? And that is a big mistake that sometimes Amazon sellers make, is like they take themselves as a reference and they don't test the product enough.
Okay. Okay. So you launched that product. One thing that you told that was very interesting is that for this second product, you validated the demand, but there was some complication. It's a big product. The shipping is complicated. You didn't see that as a problem. You see that as an opportunity. What did you have that make you think that can be an opportunity, and how did you manage that?
Right. At first, we sold only the cover without the filling. So it was easy to send to Amazon to do FBA, because we would ship the covers only, and
Mm.
they would spread it out in all Europe, in Germany, Italy, France.
Mm.
But then we started having too many returns. because people thought that they were buying a complete product with filling and not the cover only. So we started having too many returns, and people started, like suggesting and also complaining about the beanbag not being already with filling. So we started finding transport agencies, and we found like one for Spain and one for Europe that would be willing to ship this product at a suitable cost. But because imagine that you have a beanbag that is, let's say, €100,
Mm.
but you have a transport agency that charges you €50 for only for shipping.
Mm.
You kill all your margins. You
Yeah.
kill the price target, and so that was a big problem that we had to solve it. Finding suitable agencies that would be willing to ship the beanbag at a lower cost. So once we found them, we started selling them with filling, and that, I think, that was the first step to start growing our sales.
Okay. So you are selling in FBM, right? It's not FBA. It's fulfilled by another company.
Right. We do FBM. We use now we use UPS and DHL and FedEx for our orders, our shipments. But yeah, because otherwise FBA would be too expensive. Amazon charges us much more than all these companies if we do FBA.
Okay. So now you are selling since the COVID. Can we talk a little bit about numbers? Like, we can say it. You are a successful company, and congrats for that. Can you share a little bit some numbers about the revenue, the margin?
Sure. Numbers. I think 2024 were close to 1 million. And margins is around 20% after all costs. Sometimes it's a little less, to be honest. But it ranges from 15 at the lowest, 25 at the highest. And again, I think this year we are around 50% above. But again, I think I don't wanna say the wrong numbers, but I think in 2022 we closed the year around, I think it was 70,000 euros for the whole year. So yeah, then the next year was about 150. To 2023 was close to 500, and then last year was about close to 1 million.
And today you are still only two on the company, you and your wife?
No, we're here in the in North, where it's just my wife and I are the partners. Then we have a warehouse in Murcia, that is at the south, and we have two more people that are in charge of preparing all our orders and to manage all the inventory. And then we have some other people that we hire, like an accountant, and a designer, and some other people that we hire whenever we need. So
okay,
we try to keep the cost structure as low as possible, so we can optimize our revenue. I think that is one of the key aspects of this business, right? There are only two ways of making money. Either you raise your margins or you lower your costs. You sell more or you spend less, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what we try to do. We try to keep the structure as small as possible. And now with AI, it's even more. It's possible to do it even more.
Okay. What have you implemented with AI that help you reduce the cost?
Images, listings, all about image creation, listings, customer service, right? For example, you asked me how do we do the WhatsApp
Yeah.
communication with
Mm-hmm.
customers. That is mainly all um, automated, uh, except when they respond. When they respond, we want to be ourselves, or our team that responds. But all the orders and everything is quite. For example, the inventory managed control, right? We have automations with Make or Zapier, whatever
Mm-hmm.
tool you want to use. So we take all the inventory levels from Amazon that goes into a Google Sheet that is processed, and I receive an email every day showing the inventory levels of all our models, so I can manage them. I can check and analyze the demand, if it's growing or not, and that helps us to optimize future orders of different models. Let's say there's the round L size dark gray is having a 20% more demand. Okay, so next order we have to take that in consideration, and that is all automated. So I only receive like a report every day that says how the sales are going and how the inventory levels are. So all that uh, we are doing it with AI.
Okay, okay, okay. And
Yeah.
I can see that you are quite like using a lot of tools and understanding how to use it. Like for example, for PPC today, you don't have any agency that manages your PPC.
No.
How do you manage it?
With you?
Yeah, with the software. Yeah, with the
With
software.
you?
Mm,
No, basically, yeah. I use the reports and
mm,
the assistant that this tool has.
mm,
Um, I know my margins. I know my numbers. I know
mm,
how much I can spend. I know how much um, I can how long I can run a campaign. Uh, and because we are a company that specifies, that is specific of certain niche, the learning curve is quite the same that we've been seeing in the last 3 or 4 years. The keywords, if I say, for example, the keyword beanbag or beanbag chair, it's pretty much the same, over the years. I mean, it can have variations, but I know that the 10 to 20 best performing keywords in all markets, in France, in Germany, in Italy and Spain, are pretty much the same. So basically what I have to do is just I can check the the performance of those keywords and create new campaigns, for example, video campaigns, or for example, um, sponsor brand campaigns or whatever, but using those same keywords. And if I want to find new keywords, I just run like an automatic campaign that can uh, offer me new keywords, or I just buy the magnet from Hillington
mm,
a
mm,
month or 2 months just to do a review if there are new keywords in the market.
mm.
Uh, I do it for a month and then I just close it and just keep running my ads.
Yeah.
I optimize all my listings, and I'm not optimizing them with AI as well to put them in the bullet points in the back end in the description, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. In this niche, you don't need to sell like 50 pieces a day to rank in page one.
Mm.
Actually, if you see the beanbag you bought, if you go to Amazon France now,
Mm.
I think it's in position number 1 or 2. And the sales are good in France, but again, maybe we're talking about 5 to 10 sales a day.
Okay.
Of course, for a product of 115 euros, is not bad. It's good, but I think maybe that behavior is a little bit different from other products where you need to sell like let's say 20 to 50 units per day to rank in the first place.
Yeah. As soon as you are ranked in the first page, the PPC, you're not necessarily increasing the PPC budget, etc. On PPC Assist, you have public strategies. I don't know if you use those public strategies to manage your ads, or if you have your own rules, or if you do it manually via the tool or Amazon Ads. What is your process? Do you have specific schedule in the week to manage that? Do you validate the suggestion from PPC Assist? What is your process to optimize your ads?
I review the PPC Assist suggestions. Sometimes I take it, sometimes I don't. And I do it manually because I want to see the spend. I want to see the tacos. I want to see new keywords. I want to see why the suggestions are made, right? And that's pretty much how I optimize the PPC campaigns. Of course, when we launch new products, I turn into a more spending.
Yeah.
And again, I want like the tool to give me all the data, all the information. Of course, sales. If the campaigns convert, that is a good sign. And that's pretty much it. Not necessarily when I spent more money or I made higher bets that turned into more sales. Actually, many times that I did that, it didn't convert more. Is more about finding new keywords or finding new products that you can compete with than betting more. At least in our niche, and that is what I tend to see every time.
Okay. And talking about competition, when you started, the market was quite unique, quite standard, and you came up with new product, new designs. What is how is the market now with competition? Do you have copycats, for example?
We don't. I think that our strategy is always, to always move faster than the market. For example, with the product you bought, back then we only had it in cotton.
Okay.
Then we launched in velvet. Then we launched it in fox leather. Then we made an outdoor version. Okay. Now, recently, like 2 months ago, we launched a double size version. And so we keep moving and faster than the market. Now we're gonna launch like a very premium, very high standard version, which is a compressed version of this product. That is a product that will be around 300 euros, but like in the same family of this design. And I think this year we will launch like 10 to 12 new designs.
Okay.
So basically, I think that again, the market and the competition is quite steady and quite the same, because it is kind of hard to get into this niche for the reasons I mentioned before. Not only you need to invest to invest more than maybe products that are like a 20-25 euro product. It's not the same to do that than to sell a 100 euro product, because the investment needed is higher, and the logistics is quite difficult as well. So I would say that from 5 to 10 beanbag companies in Europe, not more than that.
Okay. So even if there is no big competition, you're still moving forward, still creating new product. And you mentioned before that you launched your product based on your ideas and it wasn't validated by the market. What is your process now to launch a new product? Do you validate the idea? Do you test a lot of design and see what works? What is the process?
Yes, we're always looking for other beanbag companies in the world. Let's say, for example, Australia is a big reference for beanbags.
Okay.
United States as well, and we're always looking for what it works best. What is the demand in, for example, Amazon US, Amazon Australia, and also the demand here in Europe, and we try to develop a design that is similar in functionality, but different in design. Let's, for example, you can have like a pear shape beanbag, a beanbag that is very demanded because people usually like the head to be resting on the beanbag. So that there's a demand for that kind of product. And they usually buy a pear-shaped beanbag with fox leather because it's easy to clean. Right. That is a demand that that is there. What if you offer a product that can be a substitute of that, but it has a better design, a better quality, it's easier to clean, easier to change colors, changing only the covers, that is cooler, that is something that is trending. So we go that way. And we don't necessarily validate the demand on Amazon, because we already know that the demand is there. We validate the kind of product or the functionality those products have. We go to the reviews, we go to the analyze the reviews, what things customers complain about more, what things they cherish the more or they value more. So to give you an example, we run some A/B testing in our community. For example, when we started, we thought that our customers were more about the design than, for example, comfort. And then we found out that if comfort is not there, design is not as solid. I mean, it doesn't have the weight that we thought it had. So basically, we need to make this balance between a nice and innovative design, but without losing the comfort, right? So basically, a person is more willing to buy a comfortable beanbag than a nice or beautiful beanbag. So with all that, we launch new products and test it. And also we have, with our suppliers, we have the chance to make small testing orders, like, for example, 50 pieces per model or 50 pieces per color. So the damage of not successful launch is limited and is not as it happened in the past. That, for example, we had some suppliers, or that said, okay, minimum order quantity, 500 pieces. So with all that, we can launch many new models, test them. If they work, we keep developing them. If
Mm.
not, we just put them aside and work
Okay.
with something else.
Okay, but you have a small quantity so that you can test and adapt. And
Yeah.
we were talking before recording about the ups and downs. So obviously some of the things work well, some doesn't. What are your challenges, your main challenges recently?
Recently, well, for example, as I told you, we are from Uruguay and we usually visit our families once a year. So we had a trip planned to go in February 10th, and for some reason February just exploded. We were having more orders than December. It was something that we didn't understand what was going on. And like 2 days before traveling, our transport agency in for Europe
Mm.
says, Francisco, I have bad news. The financial department told me that the rates, the tariffs I gave you are not convenient, so we're gonna shut down your contract, and we have to do it like in a week. I cannot offer you more than a week of service before we cancel your contract. And that was 2 days before traveling, having like, let's say, 100 orders per week, 150 orders per week. With Amazon, that Amazon penalizes you if you cancel the order.
Mm.
And also, having customers saying, I want my order to be shipped.
Mm.
So um, we we didn't know what to do, because again, it's not that you have like 10 or 20 shipping companies that are willing to ship your bulky product, which is like 70 by 70 by 70, and charge you, you know, a reasonable price for it. So we didn't know what to do. We started contacting other suppliers, and one of them was DHL. So, like in a week, we were able to close a new contract with them, integrate them into our system, and start um, and keep selling, in Europe. And again, February exploded. We sold more in February than in December. And let's say, for example, we had like a shipping cost of about, let's say, 20 euros
Mm.
per box,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
And it was signed, and we had emails where we discussed the terms and conditions and everything.
Mm.
So when we received the invoice from DHL, like in March,
It was
it
different.
it was €50,000 for that invoice, which should have been no more than 15, and it
Mm.
was €50,000. So, and again, I contacted the guy that I was in contact with and said, "What is this? We said 20, and this is 60." And said, "Yeah, they charged you oversized products. I'm sorry." I said, "No, it's not. I'm sorry. I mean, I am not going to pay you this. This
Mm.
is not what we agreed.
Mm.
And if I pay you this, I go bankrupt, because this is not uh, cost effective. I mean, I'm losing money if I do this." So back and forth. But again, they all of a sudden they say, okay, we'll cancel the service. No more service for you. And we had to cancel all our orders. We had to cancel more than, I think it was like 100 orders. We were penalized by Amazon, and at that moment, more than half of our sales were coming from Europe. So basically, what that meant was that we would reduce our sales by half, and that happened in March. So again, what do I do? And we contacted one supplier, another supplier, one supplier, another supplier. We contacted more than 10 suppliers, and they all said it's impossible. Or this will cost you not less than 50 euros per box. And we had hired a new person as well, that the guy that was coming to prepare the orders, he said, the only thing I want and I request is that this is a solid and stable job, because I have 2 kids. So if I quit my job to come here, the only thing I want is to stable job that I can rely on. And we had this cancellation of the DHL a month later. So we had a new guy, which all the costs that are related to hiring people here in Spain is very expensive. So we had more costs and less sales. And so again, we started to see different options. We started talking with some new suppliers, and so like in mid-April, FedEx, we signed a contract with FedEx. Then UPS also came in. So now we had 2 suppliers that can offer us that service of shipping to Europe. But it was a month and a half where we had to cancel all our orders, and that impacts on your costs, on your operational costs, on your inventory, because we had like 2 or 3 containers coming that we were not going to be able to sell, because if you don't have demand, Spain alone is not enough to have to sell all that demand that all that inventory that we had bought. So it was quite stressing time.
I can understand, yeah.
And that was the last one. That was the last thing we had this year. But we could spend like the whole day telling you stories about things that happen, and of course, this is about it. This is what business is about, right? There are so many unforeseen events that you have to deal with, and that's the game. That's the name of the game. But again, I think I remember I took a marketing course, that the guy was saying, in this time where this new generation of fragile people are, coming in, if you're able to stay steady and just hold on, you're doing something that 95% of the people are not doing. So when things get rough, just hold on. If you can, just hold on, because that is something that most people are not doing. So when things get rough, just hold on. When things go well, just move forward. Just push the gas and move forward. So basically, that's what we do, and here we are.
That's great. So finally, you have the solution for that. You have 2 suppliers now, UPS and DHL. UPS and not DHL. It's
now it's FedEx and UPS.
FedEx and UPS. Reasonable prices.
It's around 20 to 25. per shipping. So it takes about 20 to 25% of the cost. We had to adjust our price. But again, we're hitting the 30-35% margin, which is enough and suitable to keep the structure working. My idea, as an entrepreneur, I love automations. I mean, I think that this is like my philosophy. It doesn't have to be like that, For me, time is the most valuable asset I have.
Absolutely.
So, I can exchange time for money. So I work 10 hours a day, or I can exchange money for money. So I put 10 euros and I receive 12. So many of the tasks, many of the things that this project requires, we used to do it with my wife, my partner, and I, and like from 2023 up to now, we started delegating those tasks to third parties, to people. So basically what we do is we stretch our margins, but we have more time. And that time means not only thinking of best ways to perform, to manage the business, but also to have like a running automation that generates an income, a revenue, without you having to be there all the time. So we can travel if we want. We can go to the beach now in summertime, and we can have more freedom.
Yeah.
In terms of time, that is what we value most. So I prefer to lower my margins to 30 to 25%, not 50, but again, having more free time for me.
Okay.
So that is something that we are committed to keep doing, right?
Yeah, and I guess that's why you hired in Spain, even if it's expensive. Are you still working with that guy, the employee that you hired in Spain?
Yeah, actually, we have two people now.
Okay.
I mean, you mean what, our workers, or who?
Yeah, the worker you are mentioning, the one who was looking to a steady job, and then the problem.
Yeah, we kept him. Of
Great.
course, we kept him. We honored our commitment, and honestly, I was willing to even pay him with my own money. But I was not going to let him down, or to break my word of what I had already promised him. But again, that turned out to be a great decision, because honestly, the team now is working better, and is letting us plan different ways to expand even more. And I think 2025 will be the year that we probably expand more, not only in terms of sales, but also in terms of expanding all the platforms and new designs, and consolidating the project as a stable company.
Okay. And talking about the present and the future, the expansion, you have your own website as well. What are your channels today?
Yeah, we do we have our own website. Amazon is still the biggest. Then we have our Shopify. We're launching in Temu. We are in Etsy. We are in Miravia, which is a platform, maybe you know it. Leroy as well. Leroy. La Maison du Monde is something, is a marketplace we're also in conversations.
Yeah.
And we plan to expand in as many platforms as we can. because again, if we are not the ones that have to do like the effort of marketing our products, and the platform is the one that does that, if we can assume the margins, the costs for that,
Mm.
that works for me. If
Okay.
Amazon puts me in front of, let's say, 80 million people in France or in Germany, and they charge me like 20% for a sale, I'm fine with that. Otherwise, in Shopify, if we did that, newsletters, Meta ads, Facebook ads, Google ads, and TikTok ads, and you're always, like, if you don't do the effort, no one does. So that you can do it, and you can earn more money that way. But
Mm.
again, you are exchanging time for money.
Yeah.
So maybe we might have a third party doing that job in 2026. But again, as we are expanding and as we are growing, it's something that for the moment it works fine with us. Sometimes working too much in a short period of time can be more stressing and more harmful if you don't have the structure ready than to grow steady, like 20, 30, 50% per year.
Okay, got it. So 2026, expansion, more channels. Do you have a long-term vision? Is the vision to sell the company? Do you have any long-term vision about that?
Probably. Yeah,
Mhm.
probably. Once we hit the 5 million mark, I think it's a good, mm, it's a sweet number to offer the company to other bigger companies that might be interested in expanding. For example, in a design Beanbag company, and again, I think that the market is huge. It's huge. Is more than 300 billion potential customers only in Europe.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a quite large market to think about looking in the long term.
Okay. Francisco, thank you very much for sharing your journey. That's very inspiring. That's why I like to do this podcast, because I learn a lot. So I hope.
Thank you again. I don't know if this is an inspiring story, and it's something that we did honestly.
Mm.
I always thought that this is for someone like that 25-year-old guy. I'm 48 now. I'm turning 48, so I'm old. Well, I consider myself old for this,
Mm.
but it's doable. It's doable. It's possible, and I think it's a way of for people that have like a normal job. I think it's a great way to offer a new possibility to have an income,
Mm.
to have an automated income, and to offer a good product or service that people are needing. And it all makes sense because you can have more freedom. People can have a better product or service, and that is for me. It's a win-win situation.
Absolutely.
So we're happy to do it.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for sharing your story, Francisco.
Thank you
See
very
you.
much, Nisu, for this podcast, and I wish you all the best success, possible success. So it's
Thank you.
always a great pleasure.
Thank you. See you soon, Francisco. Bye.
Bye bye.